tutorial about how you can create invoices in Toc Online. It is a multi-step process. It's not difficult, but it has a few steps to perform in order to start creating invoices. Here is how you can start. First of all, you can hover the mouse at Empresa and then click on Clientes. Clientes means clients. Now, at this point, I will mention that it is important to keep the program in Portuguese and not in English, because if you try to do browser in English, it will change the language, but it will start to glitch up. It will start to create some issues. So it's best to keep it in Portuguese so the system can work smoothly and properly. So we will click on clientes, that means clients, and click on these three lines and then create new client. Every time you need to issue an invoice, you need to create the client first. We click on it. Now you need to put the client's NIF number, the name of the client, for example, Mark, Javed, and then, or any company name, okay, of Portuguese company or an international company. So in this case, we will consider this as an international company, and then we will choose the country here to, for example, Ireland. Let's say that. Okay. Now, in order for you to create this, you need to click on this button Gravar. Okay. Gravar. All right. I have created this client and I have mentioned the tax number here. Now we need to come on Impreza and come to products or services. So if you are selling services, you need to click on service, and now again you need to click on this three lines and button and then create a service. So it depends on what service you are selling. So you can basically give it a code, let's say S1, service 1, give it a name, let's say it's consultation, and then you need to choose if you charge by a unit or charge by the hour. So this is orash means hours, charge by the unit, UN. Okay, let's say we will just choose by the unit, and then you can put a price here. So let's say you charge 100. Okay, now you can leave it as it is and it will automatically add Portuguese IVA in it. Okay, if you do business in Portugal, it will automatically add IVA. All right, now we will save this as well. Now we have created the client and I have created the service. Now it's time to create an invoice. So in order for that, you need to hover the mouse on Vendas and click on Faturas. Faturas means invoice. You can come here and click on the plus icon, click on Fatura, and now you can ignore these and you can select name. For example, we just created me as a client, and now you have to choose the service. You come here in the Codigo, choose the service. It will automatically bring in the price and the IVA, and that's how you will do. Okay, now there is one more thing that you need to understand, hence the purpose of this tutorial. Now, if you are working with a client outside of Portugal, within the European Union, if you do it, it will have no IVA, business to business. And even if you work outside of Portugal, it will still have no IVA. How to do that? So you go back to the clients again, choose the client who is outside of Portugal or has no IVA requirement. You can simply click on isento de IVA. That means exempt from IVA. And in order for you to choose the code, it will ask you to choose a code here. You have to choose M40. M40 says IVA auto liquidação. That means auto liquidation. So within the European Union, if you work B2B, there is no IVA, no VAT. So you just choose M40, and it also applies to if you have a client in America, if you have client in Ireland, if you have clients in anywhere in the world. This applies only B2B. You need to remember that. So now, because this person or this client is a company and it's based in Ireland, let me change it to a company. So it's Mark Javed Limited. It's based in Ireland. So we have marked this as isento de IVA. That means it's exempt from VAT. And when it's asking for the code, you will choose M40 and you will save it. Now when we go back to vendas, we click on faturas and we click on the plus icon. We create the invoice, ignore these, and we choose the client, mark Javed Limited, and we will add a service. Boom, it will automatically mark EVA as 0 because no VAT is applicable on this invoice because it's M40 code, and you will see the M40 code here as well. All right, now we have created this invoice and we will have to just click on gravar finalizada. Now you have to be very careful, make sure, because once invoice has been issued, it cannot be cancelled. Okay, it can only be it can only have a credit note instead of cancellation, but it's better that you make sure that the invoice is created perfectly fine. Then you click on gravar finalizada or gravar finalizada and we are por mail. That means save and finalize and send via email. Okay, now in order to send via email, you need to fill up the client details in full. For example, over here you have the email, you have the phone. You can just do this in one go and then save. And when you go back to Faturash, you don't have to do all that all over again. You just do once and that's it. And you have to do this for every client. Now we are at the same. Now I will not click on Gravar Finalizada because it will create an invoice, but we will just leave it here. And once you click on the por mail, send via email, then it will just send to the client and you are good to go. So otherwise, if I don't want to finalize it, I can just click on Gravar. Gravar means save. I can save it because this has no QR code here. It's not an invoice yet. It's in preparation. So this is how your invoice will look like. Okay. And I will now go and just cancel this. This is how you can create your invoice in Toc Online. First step, create client, fill up complete information. Second step, create a service. And then third step, create a fatura. Now in order for you, this is the last thing in this tutorial, that if the client is supposed to pay you in the future, then you click on fatura, you create a fatura. That means you create an invoice. But let's say if the client has already paid you, the money is already in your bank account, in your business account, then you create fatura recibo. Fatura recibo, that means invoice receipt. So you will do the same thing, come fatura recibo, and you will do exactly the same thing. The only thing that will happen here, that it will automatically generate invoice and receipt together. Whereas where you go to fatura, and here the amount will show in pending, and only when you have the money it will allow you to create a recibo separately, which I will share with you in the next video. All right, so when you create an invoice, the money comes in, then you create or issue a receipt and case close. Whereas if the money is already in the bank account, which is the best case scenario, you don't have to do the two steps, you just do one, fatura recibo, and then just create once. But sometimes client says send us the invoice first, we will then pay you. So you have to create invoice first, and when the money comes in, then you create the receipt. And issuing a receipt is not an issue at all. It's just a one click thing. I will create a separate video for that. All right, I hope this tutorial was helpful. Without further wasting any time, I will close it here. And yeah, thank you so much.